Alright everybody, I'm about to toot my own horn, and for those of you who don't know, that is not sexual. It means I'm about to brag about something I've done. Nobody's brought this up yet, but a few months ago I created all these Wrath of the Lich King talent trees in the hopes that Blizzard would see them and be able to base some stuff off of them. What I did was I would post a suggestion tree in the class forum, then get other players' reactions, and then revise the trees based on those reactions. I did a few iterations of this, but then other players lost interest and so did I. When I created them, I honestly thought Blizzard wasn't going to use much out of them. In fact, I would consider myself lucky if Blizzard even saw them, let alone used anything from them, but well, if you look at some of these high-end talents and some of the stuff that I had in my suggestion trees, there are some uncanny parallels. I'd say this shows up best in the druid trees. First, take a look at the balance tree. Take a look at Eclipse. While I'll admit that the effect that has is way different from eclipsing power that I had in my suggestion tree, they have a similar name and similar icons, and they even appear in just about the same place in the tree. Also, take a look at the Gale Winds and Easterly Winds. Buffs the damage of Hurricane? I mean, come on. The similarity is absolutely uncanny, and if you think that's not enough, okay, let's keep looking. Take a look at Berserk in the real trees and Animal Wrath in my tree. Animal Wrath was actually something that I got from feedback on the Druid forums when I posted this. The main idea behind it was to add versatility as well as make Druids invulnerable to fear. But take a look at the icon. The icon for that and the icon for Animal Wrath are almost identical. It's a big open mouth facing in the same direction. It's almost as if Blizzard is hinting, hey, we're listening. And there's another talent that even surprised me. At Tier 4 far to the right in my trees there's Frustration, and at Tier 4 far to the right in the real trees there's Primal Precision. In both of these you get refunded energy whenever your attacks fail. That's even spooky to me. There are a few similarities in the Restoration tree too. For example, Nature's Benevolence and Replenish. The effects are a little bit different, but they're remarkably similar to each other. And take a look at Healer's Gift versus Gift of the Earth Mother. I'll admit the effects are pretty different there too. But the similarity with the names, and the fact that they're both about stacking heal over times, I mean, there's more uncanny resemblance there. It looks like Blizzard used some of my ideas in the Priest's Holy Tree as well, though not in the Discipline or Shadow trees. Take a look at Holy Grace versus Test of Faith. Both of them increase healing on targets that have low health. Also check out Efficient Healing in my tree. That restores mana to the Priest whenever he overheals. That sounds an awful lot like Serendipity in the real tree. Finally, check out Sacred Learning in my tree. That one increases your group heal's effectiveness, almost exactly like Divine Providence. Now, I'll admit that the effects are different, and that a lot of the secondary effects that I had in my talent tree don't appear in the Holy Tree that's real. But the resemblance here is once again uncanny. Similarities are a little bit more sparse in the Shaman trees. I guess that Nature's Retribution is a little bit like Storm, Earth, and Fire, but it wasn't that way originally. Also, the ethereal form that I had was similar to Priest's Shadow form or Druid's Moonkin form, but Blizzard didn't use ethereal form that way. They threw that into Astral Shift. I guess Thunderstorm is better than what I had anyways. I mean, take a look at some videos of this guy using it as an exploit. Moving right along to Enhancement, only one talent really looks familiar to me, and that talent is Maelstrom Weapon. It looks quite a bit like Deep Focus in my trees. Deep Focus in my trees was a sort of a synergy talent that I intended to make Enhancement Shaman a little bit more versatile. Deep Focus applied to healing abilities as well as to damage abilities, but Maelstrom Weapon only applies to damage abilities. But the fact that they both stack and work like that, I mean, the resemblance is once again uncanny. Moving along to Restoration, the Power of Nature in my tree and Tidal Waves in the real tree do have some resemblances, but I don't know. It's once again iffy. On the other hand, Regeneration in my tree and Ancestral Awakening in the real tree both have an uncanny resemblance. I mean, both of them are a proc on spell critical hit, and they're also in the exact same place in the tree. But while I'm talking about the enhancement tree, I have to point something out. At the top of the enhancement tree, Blizzard has Feral Spirit. So did I for a while. But based on player feedback, I decided to drop that down to a trainable ability, and instead gave Enhancement Shaman a new button to click, Earth Strike. It was a melee ability that dealt nature damage based on attack power. Obviously, it was designed to be used with Storm Strike. I honestly do not understand why Blizzard would choose to have something that player feedback shot down for me. What I am beginning to understand, though, is why some people have come and said to me, "Hey, you should do the same review with this same format for my class." Shaman have said that to me, mind you. Now I see why. I find it kind of ironic that Blizzard chose to listen to me when, well, I don't play any of those classes. I don't play a Shaman, I don't play a Priest, I don't play a Druid. I play a Paladin. And there really isn't much that they listened to in my Paladin suggestion tree. Maybe there's a little that they listened to high in protection. For example, Touched by the Light looks quite a bit like one of the talents that I had high in my protection tree. I called it Master Defender, and it had a similar effect. I also had a mana cost lowering talent high in protection, so I guess Blizzard was kinda listening to me there, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe they were listening to me for the top of Retribution too, since I had an on-demand melee AoE at the top of Retribution in my tree, and guess what we got at the top of the real Retribution tree? One place where I don't see any similarities is the Holy Tree, which, ironically, is my build. I guess Blizzard and I had two different ideas what a Holy Paladin should be. I wanted to make playing as Holy a little bit more interesting, so I added some abilities that would make Paladins harder to kill and harder to keep interrupted. Basically, my vision for a Paladin is a healer who is in melee combat a lot, and it's very, very difficult to prevent them from healing, even though they're not that powerful of healers. I guess Blizzard's vision is as a single target healer who's really mana efficient. Maybe the reason why Blizzard didn't listen to me with this one is because they had an idea for a massive overhaul of the Paladin class, and I really didn't. I really don't see much of anything else in any of the other trees that makes me think that Blizzard is listening to me there. I mean, maybe the Fire and Brimstone talent is close to my Annihilation talent in the Warlock's Destruction tree, but I don't know, that could have been just a coincidence. The only reason why I don't think that the Druid, Priest, and Shaman trees are coincidences is because there's so many parallels in those trees. I'll admit that it's not impossible that these are coincidences, but it really doesn't seem likely to me. Now, I know what all you flamers are thinking. You're thinking, not only is this guy crazy, he's also bragging now. No, this is not just me bragging. This is me giving Blizzard credit for listening to us, and in fact respecting some of the work that I did. These aren't all my ideas, mind you. Animal Wrath, not my idea. I got that off of feedback from the Druid forums. Plus, I did a lot of hard work revising these trees over and over again, so I think that I do deserve some credit for that. I mean, if you flamers got up off your butt and worked on some stuff, you'd be pretty proud if it came to some kind of fruition, wouldn't you? If I'm right that Blizzard was listening to me when they created these trees, then that means that not only are they in general listening to players, but they are listening to me in particular. In fact, there might not be a player anywhere that Blizzard is paying more attention to right now than me. I'm kind of tooting my own horn by saying that, but it's what the evidence is leading me to believe. I certainly hope it's true, because if Blizzard is listening to me, then chances are good I can get them to actually post some freaking replies in the Paladin forums. I mean, seriously, our class is getting a massive overhaul. Communication back and forth between Blizzard and the player community ought to be at an all-time high. Instead, it's at an all-time low. They're doing the opposite of what they ought to be doing. Come on, Blizzard, say something! Anything! Well, I guess that's a start. Could we maybe have a little bit more than that? Like maybe something with some real informational content?